The unbeatable Terror Sandwich is weaker than you think. Hello and welcome to Suck War Central, where we talk all things pertaining to Hunter x Hunter's Succession War. Today, we're going to be searching for ways to touch the untouchable and break the unbreakable as we try to solve 3 complex puzzles laid out for us by Yoshihiro Togashi. No form of Nen is invincible. It's the one message Togashi repeats over and over throughout Hunter x Hunter in various ways. Despite that, the Succession War has introduced us to 3 abilities that look absolutely unstoppable and uncounterable. These would be the Hatsus of Camilla, Terrorsandwich, and Halkenburg respectively. If our favorite blonde boy is going to come out on top in all this, he's going to have to find a way around these formidable Nen abilities sooner or later, or at least someone else is going to have to do it for him. So, let's dive in and see just how, exactly, these formidable obstacles might be overcome. Let's start with what I believe to be the easiest ability to overcome, Grimale les Dissonances, formerly known by most readers as Possession Arrow. For a brief recap of what the ability does, Hulk resonates his aura with his followers and bets his life to fire an unblockable arrow which possesses his target using the consciousness of one of the prince's followers, or himself, chosen at random. Now, the obvious solution to defeat Halkenburg, should he become an enemy, would be to prevent him from using it to begin with, but Chapter 403 establishes that he has followers everywhere, so this is basically impossible. What's more, this man is an archery champion physicist who can see through his followers' eyes and shoot Nen arrows through walls. Yes, he dies if he misses, but that's just not going to happen. Once Grimale les Dissonances is locked onto you, he's going to shoot you and there's not much you can do about it. So how exactly are we meant to win here? One option is to just kill him before he uses the ability. Okay, yeah, I know this seems obvious, but this is the only case in this video where that idea works, so let's talk about it. Grimale les Dissonances works when Hulk fires an arrow, so there legitimately is a possibility of killing him before he fires. That said, it's not just Hulk you have to catch by surprise, but all of his followers too, and this would be nigh on impossible. With that, our only other option is that the arrow has to miss, and believe it or not, there are ways to make this happen. Yes, he's not going to miss, but the arrow can miss. The arrow can't be moved from its trajectory, but you know what can? The target. Now, the arrow probably moves too fast for someone to just dodge it, but we still have options. For starters, an instantaneous teleportation ability could actually force the arrow to miss and kill Hulk. However, the only person we currently know to have this on the Black Whale is Krollo, and I doubt Krollo is going to be the one to put down Halkenburg, so that option is looking pretty out of reach. However, teleportation isn't the only way to force Hulk to miss. I'm going to ignore possibilities like shields and things that would redirect the arrow because the arrow is supposed to be unblockable, and I'm fully confident that that is the case. The main other way to force Hulk to miss would be to trick him into firing on a target that isn't really there. Now, I'm sure as soon as I said that, a certain man popped into your head, and I think this is a pretty good possibility. Using Parallel Future, Terrorsandwich can trick Hulk into shooting at a location he is not actually at. It would be fitting, too. Terrorsandwich is the only prince that Halkenburg is at all close to, and a confrontation between them would be a bitter one. In fact, I'm almost certain this is exactly how Hulk is going to go out, but there's another much more pedestrian possibility. Specifically, I'm talking about doppelgangers. It's possible that shooting a doppelganger instead of a real person would count as a miss and get Hulk killed. Even if it didn't, doppelganger users can dispel their doubles at will, causing Hulk's arrow to strike empty air. And as it happens right now, we have 4 users of doppelgangers on the Black Whale 3, but my point stands. If Halkenburg eventually sets his sights on the lower ranked princes in order to win the Succession War, I could easily see a confrontation with Hanzo leading to his demise. Now, Camilla's ability is going to be a little more difficult to counter. In a nutshell, Cat with a Million Lives is she goes into Zetsu, you kill her, she spawns a cat that kills you and feeds her your soul, thus resurrecting her. Now, the obvious solution is to just not kill her, and this is the option that Benjamin and Furikov have opted for, but it's not a permanent solution, and in a death game, a permanent solution is what we need. So how exactly do we kill her? One option is to take away her aura supply. Kurapika's Steel Chain should be able to harmlessly drain her aura so that she has none to use on her ability once she dies. Now, you might say, if Steel Chain just forces people into Zetsu, why would that work on Camilla? Zetsu doesn't get rid of your aura, it just hides it from the outside world. She still has to pay that aura cost somehow, and if she has no aura to pay the cost with when she dies, she likely can't activate the ability. Another option for killing Camilla is the distance plan. As established by Zakudo's Bloody Mary, moving things costs Nen, and that should also apply to Camilla's cat. If someone were to kill her from very far away, the cat might run out of Nen before it could catch the culprit. Now, when you think long distance, you tend to think sniper rifle, but that's neither practical for the Succession War, nor is it what I mean. I'm talking about curses and poisons. These would be the ideal method of killing Camilla from a distance, and as it happens, we have an abundance of them in the Succession War. However, this assumes that Camilla's beast has to kill the same person who killed her. While this is probably one of the conditions, we shouldn't assume it for certain. If it isn't, Camilla might just sacrifice someone near her in order to resurrect should she die to a curse or poison. Another method that relies on assumptions would be forcing Camilla out of Zetsu. It seems likely that as a condition for the ability to trigger, Camilla has to be in Zetsu, which is a state of extraordinary focus. It might be possible to rattle her out of it. Now, this is a grim idea, but she might release her Zetsu if, tortured. I'm just saying, if she's in Zetsu and you, break her arm, she might slip up and undo it, and then it's fair game to kill her. A horrible thought, yeah, but it's the kind of thing Togashi would write, that sick, sick man. I'm just kidding, Togashi, I love you, even if you are very messed up. Anyway, one final idea is to manipulate Camilla. If she's being controlled by a manipulator, they can control the conditions under which she's killed. But for that to work, they'd have to not only know about this ability, but know what the exact requirements are to trigger it, so this seems unlikely. The big caveat here is actually Halkenburg. I think if he used Grimal les Dissonances on her, she would be 100% screwed. In fact, that might be Halk's plan if he doesn't think he can capture Benjamin's body. He could very well go for Camilla. Whether he does or not, I think he's almost certainly going to be the one to take her down in one way or another. Moving on to our final ability, we have, in my opinion, the most difficult one of all, Terrorsandwich's Parallel Future. Now, a quick recap for this beast of an ability is in order. Terrorsandwich can use Zetsu and see the next 10 seconds in an instant. He can then change the future with his own actions, but everyone else sees those 10 seconds as they originally happened, so any changes he's made aren't obvious until after the ability ends. Additionally, he can extend the ability's effects for longer than 10 seconds, but if he does, real-world time starts to pass. Essentially, people can never actually be sure if what they're seeing of him is real, and he can kinda do whatever he wants without repercussions. So, how the hell do we beat this? Well, for starters, direct attacks simply will not work. Terrorsandwich can just avoid and counter them as he sees fit. If he knows you're attacking him, he will avoid it and counter you appropriately. In other words, you have to get him without him knowing he's got. Once again, curses and poisons seem to be the ideal weapons here. If you can find a way to discreetly poison him or curse him, then by the time he realizes he's in danger, his ability won't be able to do anything to prevent his death. However, that would be a lame way for this guy to go out, so let's explore some other options. For starters, it's unclear what this illusion actually deceives. It's entirely possible that if an ability were locked onto him, like Welfin's Missile Man or Knuckles' APR, Parallel Future wouldn't be able to shake it. Something like Camilla's ability might also be able to target him depending on how it identifies its targets, but I don't actually think she's gonna be the one to kill him. Still, it's cool how the seemingly unbeatable abilities all make a kind of rock-paper-scissors effect between the princes. We also have to consider Terrorsandwich's second Nen beast. Selkov theorizes that it might store aura for Terrorsandwich to use it in Zetsu. If this is the case, destroying that beast might eliminate Terrorsandwich's ability altogether or make it impossible to use. However, this likely means engaging in direct combat with Terrorsandwich, which is a bad idea, and that beast looks extremely difficult to discreetly one-shot. So, if this was the way you were gonna go, you'd need some ability like Rihan's Predator to take the beast down in one fell swoop, and I have no idea where Kurapika would get a hold of something like that. So, what else have we got? Well, Terrorsandwich is only human. He does have to sleep, meaning it might be possible to ambush and kill him in his sleep, but to do that, you'd have to sneak by his other two guardian spirit beasts, which just doesn't seem possible. Okay, what else? Well, there is one option that's just dramatic enough to be the way Terrorsandwich dies. He just has to be hit by an attack that covers such a wide area he can't possibly get out of the area to dodge it even with 10 seconds of advance warning. I'm talking about a bomb! Seriously, getting blown up by a massive bomb might legitimately be the way he goes out. It would be dramatic and it would get the job done. Also, it would be narratively satisfying. Terrorsandwich is basically going mad with power and enjoying the heck out of being able to see the future and toy with people without consequences. He's convinced that his new Hatsu has given him absolute control over everyone, and he's reveling in it to a sickening degree. Imagine a scene where he sees the future and knows in an instant that there's no way out. His ability wasn't enough, he didn't have anywhere near as much control as he thought he did, he's going to die, and there's nothing he can do about it. For a man obsessed with control, this would absolutely break his spirit, and I want to see that so badly. More than his physical defeat, I want to see his mental defeat, which is how I feel about every good villain. So yeah, Put your stocks in Terrorsandwich bomb death. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this exploration of 3 of the most oppressive abilities in the Succession War. I've been CJ, and I'll see you next time for more Hunter x Hunter yapping. I hope you have a wonderful day.